Hi kitties, welcome to Spirit Kitty Tarot. This is your tarot and series, something we are trying out, something new. We are looking at Sandman through the lens of tarot and its archetypes, the human experience, the different stages of the evolvement of a person, how they go through these stages to learn what their the path to their self-discovery and what their higher purpose is. We are, of course, looking at Morpheus as our protagonist. He is our fool in this case. He's going through this journey to self-discovery. Of course, his journey really begins in Overture when he is dealing with the previous vortex and how everything, the universe is really dependent on him dealing with that those consequences of his responsibility that he didn't take. But of course, by the way, I forgot to mention there are spoilers in this video, as you've already seen. We are talking about Overture, just hinting to it, some things, major events that happened in this to shape his personality. We won't be getting into specifics because I don't want to spoil it for you in case the Netflix series actually covers all of the volumes. We are looking at volume 1 and volume 2, which are in the series, of course. So let's begin. Our journey really begins at Morpheus stepping into the human world. He doesn't know what he's stepping into. This is all really new for him. He also has a companion like the fool does. He has his raven, and his bag is filled with the things that he will require on the journey. And in that in Morpheus's case, he has his tools. He has his tools of office. He has his helm, the ruby, and his sand pouch. He is not fully equipped though for what is in store for him. He hasn't encountered the human world and what it can manifest into when it has greed in it, it has evils in it that he isn't aware of. And of course, with the magician, he encounters the Magus. He encounters Roderick Burgess, who is someone that, of course, the magician is someone that uses the 4 elements for his purposes to get his desires to manifest. But of course, with the magician card, and we will also see the high priestess, they are aspects of the fool. They are the masculine, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine of the fool. They are the metaphysical forms of what his subconscious is telling him. The magician is, of course, the active part of those two. It is the side that wants him to achieve things in the physical world. It is about elements that you can use to attain things in the physical realm. And the high priestess, of course, in the story of Morpheus, is the fates. Someone that tells him the secrets, reveals him the secrets which he doesn't know about, changes the course of his journey really, because it reveals the secrets to him. The high priestess is the keeper of secrets. It is also about the divine self. It leads you to the self-discovery of your higher being, your higher power, and it is the unconscious mind giving you direction towards what you should be moving towards, which is, of course, another aspect of him. And of course, looking at Overture, for those who have read it, there are thousands of aspects of Morpheus that we see in it. And of course, in that cycle, in that stage of his life, that was the high priestess and magician in the form of different aspects of him. And moving on to the Empress, we have the Mother, we have the Queen, we have the Mother Knight. In the case of Overture, we meet her and we see how she gives him direction, or doesn't really give him direction. She is the divine feminine in the outside and the outer world manifesting, and with the Empress, it is the primary love that the Fool receives from the outside. It is really, it sets the tone for the relationships that he is going to have. And of course, we know how that relationship is with Mother Night. Morpheus and Mother Night don't really get along that well. And that it can also be argued that his other relationships are shaped because of that, by that. And we now have the Emperor. That is the father, that is, in Morpheus's case, Father Time. And that's the divine masculine in the outside world for our protagonist. It is how he is informed about the rules, how he is disciplined, and it is a figure that really informs him how to set out to attain his goals by self-discipline and really perseverance and determination. So, and of course, moving on to the Hierophant. The Hierophant in this case is the universe, because the Hierophant is the rules setter. It is either the rules of religion or politics. It is the law, and of course the only law that the endless are bound to is the universe, are the rules of the universe. So that is the universe in this case. And now moving on to the Lovers. Now our protagonist is older. He has experienced things, and now he is experiencing a love for someone outside of his primary caregivers, or even the rules that he is being conformed to. And we know how Morpheus's relationships are with his multiple lovers, but of course, and Lovers is not just about external lovers, it's also about understanding. It's the marriage of the subconscious and the superconscious mind. It is understanding one's self and accepting it. It is, of course, through the understanding of the subconscious that we move on to understanding the things of the unconscious mind, and then, of course, understanding how to set about the journey to the higher self, attaining things of the soul purpose, really. So, and following the preludes and nocturne storyline, we have Morpheus in hell meeting Nada right before he meets Lucifer, which we will be moving on to next. It is the relationship, how that plays out. It might also be, Lovers can also be interpreted as the twin flame and the runner and the chaser aspect of it. So it can be said that there is always one runner and one chaser in his relationships. Moving on to the Chariot. It is the perseverance of wanting to move forward. It is catching momentum as Morpheus moves on to meeting Lucifer. It is perseverance and determination that has gotten him through this journey without fearing it, because there is a lot to fear on this journey, but he does persevere. And it's also about giving into the divine forces, the reins of the chariot, of course, sometimes don't exist a lot of the time really in traditional tarot, because the writer is controlling the chariot through their mind. Their mind is powerful enough to manipulate the chariot in whichever direction they want to go to. But of course, it also means being drawn in two different directions. It can also be interpreted that way for Morpheus, because as much as he wants to be there and get his helm back, it must have taken a lot of determination to not go back. But moving forward and still catching momentum. With the Strength card, it is the battle of Lucifer and Morpheus. How Morpheus uses the strength of the heart, because of course he cannot win with Lucifer. If he uses brute force, Lucifer would ultimately, of course, defeat him, but he does use the strength of his heart and his mind to win it. Of course, we should also talk about how the battle really goes. It goes from aggressive attacking from both sides to Morpheus on the defense. When it becomes apparent that he wasn't going to win, the universe, the world, and then of course Lucifer challenging him, really challenging those things and really almost defeating him until there's a hope, because he is dream and dreams don't die, hope doesn't die. That is the Strength card. That is really the it is the personification of what the Strength card means. Now we are moving on to the Hermit. In the story of Morpheus, of course, and Preludes and Nocturnes, the stage of the Hermit doesn't come just yet. We are out of hell. We have acquired our helm, but we haven't acquired our ruby yet. And that's what this other, right after that, the wheel card is going to present. It's the next stage. And with the wheel, the fortune of wheel, it is about catching a break. It's about luck and the universe actually helping you out with your quest, and that's what happens with Morpheus. He catches a break. The ruby is with the ruby, the business with the ruby, he crushes the ruby all by himself. He gets the ruby back, he gets his powers back by a stroke of luck, really, because he doesn't have to do anything for it. He catches a break. But after that, right after that, we have the Hermit, in which things are quiet, it's introspective, and it is the episode with death. It is the episode where Morpheus meets his sibling, takes a walk with her. It's the episode of The Sound of Her Wings, episode 6, which is of course our favorite sibling, everyone's favorite sibling, death. We move on to Justice. Talking about death, it is the equalizer, it is fair. Everyone receives it, whether they like it or not, really, as death says. So it is fair, everyone experiences it equally. It is the equalizer. And we then move on to the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is of course one part of the series where Morpheus says himself, the Hanged Man, the sacrifice to present the fates, to get answers for his quest, for his tools. But I don't believe the Hanged Man is him in this case, because of course he does hang himself. He gets hanged on the gallows in someone's dream, but it's not really a sacrifice. The real sacrifice is Gregory, the gargoyle, who graciously presents himself as a sacrifice for the dreaming. And our next phase would be the death card, which is about rebirth. It is the rebirth of the dreaming. It's the end of the old and in with the new. We are rebuilding dreaming after a sacrifice and after someone's death event. Of course, the death card doesn't really mean death literally, but in this case it can, and it does. So we have death. And moving on to Temperance. This is the quiet before the storm in this case, in Morpheus's case, but it is alchemizing your potential and your ability to get as much as you can. Of course, this is the time where the dreaming is restored. Morpheus is back in dreaming, the center of dreaming is back, and everything is quiet. But of course, it is about really understanding what you've gone through, the experiences that you've had. It is turning the cold water into the spring water, really understanding why you went through things and making it beautiful for yourself because you learn from the experiences. It is alchemizing your experiences to achieve really your desires. So we move on to the Devil card. Unhealthy attachments, addictions, and of course it can I would like to add that with the unhealthy connections, what more could be and more unhealthy, but other than the serial convention, so many serial killers coming together to connect with each other, but this isn't about them. This is about Morpheus's journey, and the devil here is his unhealthy relationship with his work, with his function, which he perceives as his purpose as well. Of course, this is sprinkled in, not really sprinkled in, it's more really apparent, not at all subtle. Everyone keeps making him understand. This was also something that was an overture. He was supposed to understand this again and again in his cycles, how his function is not his purpose. His purpose is greater than that. Of course, he has a lot of trouble getting the grasp of that because he does understand it. There are times with Hobgaddling, he does understand it. With, of course, Johanna Constantine, making him understand, making him see how Roderick Burgess isn't every human. It's not every person that's like that. And he does get these lessons, he does learn from them, but ultimately he has a lot of room to change. We see here that it's still bothering him, and he hasn't really understood that humans are not just an aspect of his function. They're not, because dreaming is for them, but he doesn't understand that his function is also about them. And we of course will see that how he learns this later on. With the Tower moment, this does come in. We see how everyone ultimately does give him a reality check again and again. People give him the lessons, very outward lessons he gets. People voice their opinion, really make him understand how he should be dealing with things better, because he can't treat his own function that way. He has to understand, he has to grasp how he can incorporate the humanity that he does have, and what his function is, that grand function of his is. So with the Tower moment, it is the universe literally knocking you down a peg. It is the conversation with Johanna Constantine in the beginning of the series. It is with Lucien voicing her opinion again and again, how he should change his approach. With Gold, how she is killed. Not really killed, but you know, she was what you would call it, she ceasing to exist. So we also have Corinthian making him understand that there is a flip side to this coin. We will also talk about that, because with the Corinthian, it is that he is the flip side of that coin. He is the coin of Morpheus, really. He's the other side of his personality. Because I would say this, that Corinthian dreams of a world where the fears that Morpheus actually is I'm sorry, Morpheus is creating a world where our dreams inform us of our fears so we can deal with them better. But with Corinthian, it is reverse. He is the absolute reverse of Morpheus in this case, because he dreams of a world where those fears are indulged in. Those fears become our existence, where we are essentially the fears dominate and rule. So that is one aspect of the Tower moment for him. With the Star card, it is I forgot what the Star card I had interpreted as, but yes, of course, it is the unconscious, the pool of unconscious, which is the star. She bathes in it, she takes from it, and she pours one jug onto the earth, and one jug is taking, it is pouring into the pool of unconscious. So it is about how to take from your unconscious and manifesting it into the real world, your dreams, your desires, and the things that you actually need to do to attain that life purpose and move towards it more, move towards your higher self. It is all about that. So it is literally the function of, as Morpheus says, he deals with the unconscious of everyone, the collective unconscious. It is so powerful that he isn't able to live his own life, because it is a really major part of his life. He's dealing with everyone's unconscious, so he isn't able to really deal with his own, which is essentially why he has all of this trouble. So with the Moon card, it is the night. It is when we sleep. It is the night healing us. Our body is healed during the night when we sleep. It is the mother that cares for us. And of course, it is also seeking counsel in your sleep from the universe or from your unconscious mind. And in the Sandman, of course, we have Rose Walker, who he is dealing with currently in the stage where when she sleeps, he meets her in the dreaming, in his realm, in the comfort of his own home. So this is this is the dreaming. This is everyone is asleep, everyone is healing in the dreaming, everyone coming to learn about their unconscious in the dreaming. So that is basically the realm of the dreaming for us. Rose Walker coming into the dreaming at night, people sleeping, and that this is when Morpheus clocks in for his job. So with the Sun card, it is now moving into the light. We have dealt with the vortex. The secrets of the night are revealed to us. We are now going back to our castle, and everything is better, everything looks good. We have learned lessons that we needed to learn in this cycle, and after that we have judgment. So we learned our lessons, the sun is shining on us, and things are looking better, things are quiet now, and we are basking in the sunlight. With the judgment, it is the wisdom that comes with death. It is the wisdom that comes with the day of judgment. So the traditional depiction of the judgment card is an angel that awakens the dead, and it is the day of the judgment when they receive the wisdom of what the life was, the secrets of life and the death. So even the purpose of life is revealed to them. Their life specifically, what they've done in their life, is judged. It can also be said that this judgment could also be about, in Morpheus's life, on the external front. In the outside world, it is also about the serial convention and how he deals with that, how he judges all of those serial killers by giving them exactly what they have dished out, making them feel what they have done to everyone. It is passing judgment, and it is making them be held accountable for what they've done. But of course, with Morpheus, it is dealing with his own issues and dealing with how he deals with things. He comes to terms with how he needs to change his perspective. Of course, we forgot to talk about hobgaddling. That was going to be the Hanged Man, because I forgot to talk about it, even though I had written it down. But with the Hanged Man, it was supposed to be suspended in time, and hobgaddling is. And of course, it's also the relationship that he has with humanity that changes because of hobgaddling. He understands that a human can be his friend. That's also, the Hanged Man is a change in perspective. It is literally the man hanging himself to receive enlightenment so he can have a different perception, really. That was, of course, the Hanged Man. And with the judgment, it is, we are back in the dreaming, and Morpheus apologizes to Lucian, and he understands that he has to depend on other people as well, rely on other people, which was also one of the core messages in Overture, something to think about, where he was supposed to again and again rely on other people. With even, I'm not gonna give this away, I was almost about to, but he can rely on his siblings in that, but he doesn't. Of course, he does have that he doesn't like depending on people. He likes to solve his own problems. He has arrogance in that matter, and in that manner. And we are now at the end of our cycle. The world card, our cycle has ended. We have learned what we needed to learn in this one, and we are moving into the next phase of our life after learning our lessons, after we have experienced all of the things that we were supposed to in this one. And now we are going to be moving into the next one. We will see what Morpheus does in the next one. And of course, let's talk about what the messages were in Overture and even in this one. He does change from Overture a little bit, because he does understand the major message, which was he needs to be accountable for things that he does. He takes responsibility for them. He rectifies his mistakes and understands the consequences of his actions. Now, when he moves into Volume 1, Preludes and Nocturnes and The Doll's House, he understands that. He does actually take responsibility, and that's now something that he does very overtly and easily. He is very much about responsibility now. But the other things that were still in overture, which were depending on other people as well, if you don't think you can handle things, which is not something that he has learned even in this one, but he does start to rely on people, as we see in the doll's house. Little by little, he does eventually let go of his arrogance. Sometimes, of course, it does come back, but it's a learning process. It's an ever going process, and it took a lot for him to handle that half-gaddling thing with a lot of humility and come back. There were a lot of things that he did learn. He does have those moments of humility, which are of course something that we cherish a lot about Morpheus. And now let's say our goodbyes to Morpheus for now. We will be moving on to just doing tarot readings for you guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you are looking forward to me doing more of tarot and things. So if you want to catch a tarot reading, stay tuned. I will be doing it very soon. And watch some timeless readings if you want to, or the twin flame ones. So take care, kitties. We will be seeing each other very soon. Like, share, and subscribe, and also please comment on what you want to see further in this series, and take care.